Hi, this is Dandrea for the Ubuntu CI team. The big feature that everyone's been asking for from Launchpad, inline comments and merge proposals, is finally landing on trunk and should be on staging soon. It shouldn't be too long before you see this on production. The librarian traditionally backed onto a SAN, but we were seeing some serious growth limitations with that approach, and I'm now happy to announce that we've nearly finished the first phase of migration onto Swift-backed storage. The librarian will still write to both Swift and the SAN for a time as we validate this approach, but this will give us a great path forward to meet our needs as Launchpad continues to grow. It was also our first attempt at bringing in cloud technologies into the Launchpad stack. In the coming year, we'll be even more focused on leveraging what OpenStack and Juju have to offer as we build future offerings on top of Canonical's internal cloud. The past few months also saw improvements to the way private teams are handled. You can now turn a private team public, for example, and we saw scalability improvements to the build manager component of Launchpad. Moving on to the continuous integration part of the team, we've been hard at work re-architecting our CI tools to create a much better workflow for our Ubuntu engineering stakeholders. As a result of this, we've built entirely on top of the cloud, creating the CI airline, a system that can much more efficiently handle feature landing for Ubuntu. The first phase of this is nearly feature complete, and we expect to move quickly to testing all failure modes in February. This to drive down the operational cost of the system. We spend a lot of time kind of firefighting at times the existing infrastructure that we have, and we really want to make that a problem of the past. We'll be tearing down nodes and injecting timeouts while ensuring the system continues to behave appropriately. Getting to the full CI airline is going to take some time, and it would be good to have some smaller chunks of it in place a lot sooner. This in part to ensure a smooth transition, and in part because we need quality tools to make Ubuntu 14.04 a success. The CI train is this subset of ideas, built on top of Canonistack and running right now for Ubuntu engineering. We're working to migrate this onto ProdStack, both for the higher availability that gives, and to get IS to rally around a single Jenkins charm, the Jenkins being the core of this CI train. Finally, we're working with Dimitri of the Foundations team to build on his work creating GemGem, a charmed instance of the Ubuntu Touch emulator running on the cloud. Coming out of the sprint next week, we should have a concrete plan for horizontally scaled emulators replacing our sometimes troublesome physical hardware that I just mentioned before. On the ops side of the team, the biggest challenge over the past few months was to completely re-architect our infrastructure for the 1SS data center. We moved from a lab in the Lexington office. This was a monumental task, one Larry and Rick invested a large number of sleepless days in and ultimately produced some outstanding results. Our infrastructure is now far more reliable, far better aligned with IS. We're using Landscape to manage the systems, we're using the IS ACL system to manage users, and Ksplice to lower downtime. We're also using PagerDuty for our Vanguard shifts. A Vanguard is the person who's the face of the CI team for a block of hours each day. When a problem occurs, they are the first port of call and the first line of defense. With PagerDuty in place and a lot of work that we've invested improving our automated infrastructure tests, we now get notified on our phones the instant something goes wrong or starts to wobble. So if a phone in our DC goes down, the person who's the Vanguard gets an instant notification of that and can deal with it immediately before tests are run. So that's it for me. Thank you.